Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to join us here. My name is Isaiah Dawes. I'm a Senior Annuity Sales Associate here at IMES, and I'm joined today by Bill Gaffney with Lincoln Financial. We're really excited to have you with us, and we've got some fantastic information to share with you today. We're going to go over partial Roth conversions, as well as some other things that Lincoln has started doing over there with some of their products. Before we get into all of that, though, we do have a few key items here that we're going to talk about, why agents love working with us over here at IMES. And if at any time throughout the presentation you've got a question, go ahead and feel free to pop those in the question box there. We will be sure to get all those answered for you. We will also have 3 poll questions here for you today, and we'd love your participation on those. So make sure you're paying attention once we queue those up for you there. One thing I want to go over is when you call over to us here at IMES at 800-255-5055. Remember, you're always going to get a live person and never have to deal with a dial by name directory. And that's how we kick off our best-in-class customer service, answering that phone with somebody. Maybe it's that person that you're calling in for, but if not, they're always going to get you transferred over and get you taken care of pretty quickly. So a few of the other reasons why people love working with us here at IMES. We'll start off with our new producer builders. Our new producer builders program is for those of you who are new to IMES. These bonuses are available based on your production level in your first 180 days of contracting with us. We've got different levels that you can qualify at, and as you can see, inside each level are some great options for you. We've got incredible business building tools, personal perks for you, and even cash rewards available. If you'd like to know where you stand towards your new producer builder, or if you would like to have a conversation about how to achieve this next level, please just give us a call over here. Another business builders program that we provide for our agents is our referred producer program. I see a couple advisors on the call with us today that have already taken advantage of this program. Our business on the wholesale side of the industry is similar to yours in the field, in that one of the best leads we can ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued producers. This is why we want to make it worth your while to refer a producer for us. So when you refer a new producer and they get contracted, we're going to cut you a $50 thank you check. Where the real money comes in, though, is as your referral rights business, you're going to receive an override on that business. Our ownership team, Charles, Steve, Curtis, and Chris, sign checks for thousands of dollars every quarter. And if you can think of anyone that could benefit from doing business with our team, please type their information into that questions box, or you can certainly email us with their information as well, and we'll reach out to them to get them set up. Below the referred producer program is our marketing reimbursement program, which is the most popular program that we offer here at IMES. For every $100,000 in FIA premium, you're going to get $100 in your marketing reimbursement account. And why this is so popular and lucrative for our advisors is that we truly do consider this to be your money. You have the flexibility on what services and when and who to use these funds with. It's your marketing reimbursement. We don't tell you the vendors that you have to use or anything like that. We do recommend vendors that we partner with and leverage reduced rates and preferred service. But certainly you can use that money as you see fit for your marketing there. We also have our creative team here to create a marketing strategy and provide in-house services. And if you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account or have a conversation about how to utilize it, just give your sales director a call here at our office, and we'd love to speak with you about that. Next, our back office support team is another way that we add value to your business. This is the core of IMES and how Charles Hiring founded IMES years ago. We want to help the independent advisor work smarter, not harder. We're going to do that with our great business building tools and resources, and of course, our advanced case design assistance. We assist with life and annuity quotes. We're going to get you those illustrations that you can request within 24 hours. Really, you're going to receive it much quicker, usually within the hour. Submission to commission support is handled by our new business teams. Mackenzie heads up the annuity team, and Michelle is on the life side. They have fantastic teams who work tirelessly every day to help you get commission quicker. We're going to scrub applications submit them on your behalf, and do the administrative tracking and get you updates on those cases as needed. We do this to ensure that you do get commissioned as quickly as possible. This is a service that we provide to all of our valued producers, and it's a way that we help you grow your business by keeping you in front of clients while our team handles that back office support for you. Next up, our IMS website is a great tool for our producers to use and another reason to work over here at IMS. Once you are contracted, you're going to have full access to everything you see on this slide. There's so much more at imsinc.com. If you haven't registered for our website, it's very simple to do so. When we're done with this call, go ahead and create an account, and we'd love to see you get on there. There are a lot of great resources that are available to you, including illustration tools, online forums, product grids, and news. Industry updates are also out there for you. So technology is clearly where the industry is going, and Luma is our newest partnership to streamline the application process. Most of our carriers are now on our Luma Firelight e-platform, so you can go on to one site to submit your business. Some carriers are going to e-app only for some of their product lines and will also offer extra comp for utilizing the e-app platform. Make sure you ask your sales director before you submit a paper app, because you can earn extra money by just completing and submitting it through the e-app. And earlier I mentioned our creative services team. We do have a full in-house creative team to help your business here. We have turnkey items available out there for you, and many of our sales resources are white labeled, so we can simply impose your contact information and your business logos onto it. Speaking of logos, if you haven't created a full custom brand for you in your agency, we can certainly help with that through Agency Solution. Name recognition grows your natural market organically. Digital marketing solutions are a very popular topic around here at IMS. We can help you with websites, social media marketing, email marketing, and much more. The internet and social media sites are where the overwhelming majority of prospects go to for information. So making sure you are accessible and represented in those marketing lanes is very beneficial to growing your business. You can reach out to any of your sales directors here at IMS when this webinar is over to talk about how you can access the IMS creative team, and we can certainly get that ball rolling for you. We also offer complimentary marketing analyses for agents looking to explore new sales ideas and programs. Whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned producer, this free assessment can help you boost your business with insights on your website, digital presence, branding, and current marketing activities, as well as recommendations on trusted vendors for everything from lead generation to seminars and social content. Reach out to your sales director to get started with that process. And I will go ahead and pass this off to my sales director, Laura Johnson, here to chat about IMS Wealth Management.
Hello, I want to just jump on here to do the last couple slides here for us here. So with IMS Wealth Management, for those of you who don't know, we, back when the DOL was kind of looming over our heads 6-7 years ago, Charles and Steve said it was time. So we do have our own RIA, IMS Wealth Management, our sister company, just about a mile down the road from us. So we're happy to be able to help advisors out in the industry as well. And they're built with the same principles and same family feel that we have here at IMS Inc. Two things about this with the wealth management that I want to touch on. Number one, if you're a licensed rep, 65, 66, your CFP, you can get registered with us, no problem. But one thing I do want to talk about is for those of you who maybe don't have your security license. If you're an annuity producer, obviously you're on with Lincoln today, so hopefully annuity producers. You go into a home and there's 500,000. Well, we know that Lincoln's only going to be able to take 350 of that, 300 maybe, depending on suitability. And if you're not taking that other 150,000 and doing something with it, you're just allowing another financial advisor to potentially come in and steal your client. If we want to be honest about it. I mean, you handle the annuity part, but someone else, we're just leaving that money, low-hanging fruit out on the table. So not saying everyone needs to go get their security license, but what we wanted to do is have a solution. So we do have our IMS Direct program with IMES Wealth Management. Chad and Zach do a phenomenal job working side by side with all of our agents who either maybe you're toward the end of your career and you just don't want to mess with getting your security license. Maybe you just have no desire. Maybe you're studying and yeah, it's a hefty book to read, I'll tell you that. You're just not at the point where you're ready to take the exam yet. Well, we have a solution. So working with Chad and Zach, you can refer your clients over. So that client will have that 500,000, you're going to handle the annuity. You'll be on all the calls with them as they handle the wealth management portion of it. And it's a win-win. Number one for you, no one's going to be stealing your client. Number two, you know your clients are being well taken care of with the same service that we treat you guys with. And it's just a really great opportunity. For you studying for the test, we have one advisor who was referring clients over while he was studying. And by the time he passed his exam, he had $6 million of assets that were able to be transferred right over to him once he got registered. So a really great opportunity to kind of protect your clients, build that AUM up potentially under the direct program. And when you pass your exam, have it transferred right over to you. I mean, that's a great deal. We've seen a lot of agents have a lot of success. But if maybe you're just, like I said, at the end of the career, have no desire to work on that side, know that you do have a resource with IMES Wealth Management. You can reach out to myself. I can get you connected with either Chad or Zach, and they will walk you through kind of what the process is like and how they work with your clients and how you'll be included in all those conversations. So if you are interested, we're going to throw our first poll question up here. If you're interested in either program with IMES Wealth Management, just go ahead and just mark yes. All this is going to do is generate a call from one of the guys on the IMES Wealth Management team. They're just going to let you know kind of how either program works, whether you're curious about the platform, curious about how they can assist you with the Client Direct program. They'll just give you a call and be able to assist you with that. So if we want to keep answering those questions real quickly, we can then get on to the next part of this webinar. Okay, it's slowing down. We'll go ahead and end that one. We'll get on to our last slide because I know you guys are sick of already hearing from me and you just really just want to hear from Bill. So one last thing I get to talk about today is our life and annuity academies. And these are, I'm very passionate about these, probably because I do all the behind the scenes work and I know that they work really well for our agents. So while I'm talking about this, if you do have any interest, just mark yes to the next poll question. But what we do is we fly in 35 to 40 agents for a 2.5-day training. I'm actually taking off from here to go start picking some people up from the airport as we're going to be doing it. Starting one tomorrow here at our office in Omaha. But what we do is we fly about 35, 40 agents in, usually sponsoring with one or two carriers. And it's not annuities 101. It's not life insurance 101. If you're brand new to the business, I'll shoot it straight and say it's probably not for you yet. Because it's going to be in-depth concepts, advanced strategies. How can we help you grow your business? Our goal is to, number one, have everyone fired up, ready to go make some sales when they leave here. But not only that, but you're rubbing elbows with 40 other people who are out grinding, doing the same hard work you're doing every day. I think there is more value to that than anything I can tell you about over the next 3 days. It's that time you spend with other advisors. So we really think it's very beneficial. We also bring in, I think we've got 10 of our top producers coming into this meeting this week who are going to share with our agents what they did to grow in the business, how they went from writing $2 million a year to write $8 million a year. They're going to share exactly what additional products they added to what they were offering their clients to add to the bottom line, So it's a really great opportunity to hear from some of the people at IMES. This one we're partnering with Equitrust and American National. I will tell you our last one of the year is October 8th through the 10th. That'll be here in Omaha as well at the home office. And those will be sponsored by Athene and North American. So really great opportunity if you haven't been into one, or maybe it's been a couple of years. We typically don't like to bring people in again if they've been in the last 2 years, because these are a very popular event. But if you are interested, just go ahead and mark yes to this. And following the webinar today, Isaiah will be sure to get you guys out a link to register for the registration for the October Academy. And then we'll kind of take a break from them until after the first year. Unfortunately, no one likes to come visit us here in Nebraska during the winter. So next one after October won't be probably till late March, early April. So with that, we are going to hand things off to Mr. Bill over at Lincoln Financial, and he's got good concepts to share. You know, we talk about making everyone's life easier. You know, our job is to make your job easier. Well, Lincoln's made it pretty easy to do partial Roth conversions. And then he's got some other exciting news that just hit the ground running. So with that, Bill, we'll hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura, and good morning, everyone. As Laura mentioned, Bill Gaffney, Regional Marketing Director on the annuity side with Lincoln Financial. And today we're here to discuss, some very timely topics when it comes to our simplified Roth IRA conversion process, and also a very timely story when it comes to the S&P 500 cap lock that we recently launched just as of yesterday on our OptiBlend fixed indexed annuity. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Hopefully technology works for me today. But what you'll notice here when I do pull it up is our digital resource guide when it comes to our Lincoln OptiBlend fixed indexed annuity. Everything you see here is client approved, and we have it all, right? There's a ton of marketing material, a ton of fact sheets that can be used to learn the ins and outs of OptiBlend. But the one thing that I wanted to start with today was actually our market intel exchange. So our investment desk does an incredible job of staying in tune with everything that's happening in the industry, in the markets, and they do really all the heavy lifting for us in regards to putting together a quick piece that we can share. So for some reason, it's not popping up for me here today, but what I can do is follow through with everybody on the call today. But a few of the slides that I like to take a look at, which, we have 87 of them, and we can dim that down to 2 or 3 that you find most relevant and would be most beneficial for you. And we can actually create our own little decks out of this large deck that I'm taking a look at here today and is available on our digital resource guide. But one of the studies that we recently ran is what are high net worth individuals looking for right now? And the 2 biggest responses, the 2 most frequent responses was wealth preservation and tax efficiency. All right, so wealth preservation and tax efficiency are the 2 things that high net worth individuals are looking for. And that's very good for all of us on the call today because we have the ability to provide both with our OptiBlend fixed indexed annuity. So you'll see this market intel exchange piece, and one of the pieces that I'll send out to everybody following this is really where we project the U.S. national debt to climb to over the next 25 years. And you'll actually see it staggering. We hear all the time that we're in a ton of debt today, but moving forward, we expect those numbers to continue to grow. And when you see that chart and you just ask a client, where do you think taxes are going to go here in the near future after this current administration, they're most likely going to say up, right? We right now are actually, if you take a look at the past 100 years, below the average or the median income tax rate for high net worth individuals. So what a lot of these folks are doing is taking advantage of the fact that we are in a lower income tax bracket and we expect taxes to go up here in the near future or years to come, is moving their traditional IRA to a Roth IRA so they can pay the taxes now while they're a little lower and take advantage of that. And then what do you do after you pay the taxes and you're enjoying a tax-free retirement, right? You're looking to accumulate those assets, grow those assets for your legacy so you can pass those assets along to their children, grandchildren, whoever it may be, tax-free and with some great accumulation throughout the products. So Roth IRA conversions, huge topic right now. We're seeing a ton of traction and flows into our story because we made it simple, right? We simplified it for you as the advisor. We simplified it for the client. And frankly, we simplified it for myself here at Lincoln to handle these type of contracts and this type of business. So this is our simplified Roth IRA conversions process and a flyer that, again, is client approved, and we can share with all the folks on the call today after our discussion. But really how it works is you only need one application, and it's just a check the box. You'll notice that if you are setting up your client's contract for a Roth IRA conversion, you simply check the box on the contract. That's going to look like this, right? Roth IRA partial conversion. You check that box. From there, Lincoln is going to create two contracts that have the same surrender schedule. All right, so they are going to mirror each other. And one of the stipulations here that I want to get out of the way with right off the bat is the fact that the Roth needs to start with a minimum of $5,000. All right, so we're going to have to move $5,000 initially into the Roth IRA. From there, between yourself as the advisor and the client, you have complete flexibility to convert however much you want, whenever you want, from your traditional IRA to the Roth IRA. All right, Lincoln's going to facilitate the withholding on those conversions. And again, this is complete flexibility for yourself and the client to move however much you want, whenever you want. So we do have that partial Roth IRA conversion process. This is a quick story on Matt. So Matt had $1 million. He had in his IRA, he started out the Roth IRA conversion process with $100,000 initially. And then from there, over that 10-year contract, simply moved $100,000 every year to the point when that contract came due, when it was out of surrender, that money was tax-free.
Hey, Bill, are these flyers supposed to be showing up on your screen? We're not seeing them.
Oh, yeah, I'm having issues with that. 1 second. So it only shares, share something else. Oh, I apologize. So I have to continue flipping to share from each point. All right, so thank you for bringing that up. Now I know what to do. Are you able to see it now?
Yes. Yep. There we go.
Simplified Roth IRA conversions?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I do have to just go ahead and share each time rather than click across the different tabs here. Okay, thank you for that. So let's just go through this again quickly because it's easy. We like to call it 1, 2, 3. One application, two contracts, and number 3, complete flexibility. So you'll notice, again, I apologize to be repetitive here, but only one application needed. You just check the box, and this is the box you'll see on the application. It says it in bold letters there, Roth IRA partial conversion. You check that. From there, we create two contracts that, again, mirror each other, same surrender schedule. On that same portion of the contract, you're going to notice that there is a $5,000 minimum. And right here, you would just indicate how much you want to start or put into that Roth IRA off the jump there. So you'll notice $5,000 minimum, but they can elect however much they would like to start that Roth with. Next, after that has been complete, now you and the advisor, you'll notice, have complete flexibility to convert however much you'd like from your traditional IRA or from your client's traditional IRA to the Roth IRA. Again, Lincoln's going to facilitate the tax withholding on those conversions. And again, this is just a quick case study that I went through with Matt. He did a 10-year Opti blend, started off the Roth with $100,000 of that $1 million IRA. And then from there, just moved $100,000 each year from his traditional to his Roth, to the point where that $1 million was tax-free at the end of it and was able to pass through to his legacy. So again, we mentioned that Roth IRAs right now, very timely conversation. And we just simplified that for the advisor, the client, to make it as easy as possible. Now that I know how to, kind of flip back and forth So I'll go even back to our market intel exchange piece that I mentioned earlier. So you'll notice, as I mentioned, there's quite a few slides here. Please give me a call, shoot me an email. We can dim this down to less, more condensed slides if you'd like. But this is the one piece that I was talking about, U.S. debt levels. This actually shows you the U.S. federal debt as a percentage of the GDP in 2024, and projecting with the Congressional Budget Office, you'll notice that number has a projected increase of 156% by 2055. So that's what I mentioned. When a client sees this and you ask that simple question, where do you think taxes are going to move or go moving forward? They're mostly likely going to say up, right? And that's my point in regards to the fact that we can pay the taxes now while they're in a lower range, and then be able to enjoy that tax-free retirement. You'll notice here again, a ton of information that Lincoln's able to provide with this market intel exchange piece that I want to mention again, that everybody has access to. You just come to me and I'll make sure we get you set up. But you'll actually take a look at the other slide I mentioned earlier. Historical income tax rates right now, 37%. But if you actually take a look back, all the way back to 1913, so we're looking at over 100 years here, the median was 54%. So again, in relative to averages, we are low right now. And that's why we've been seeing a ton of high net worth individuals specifically taking advantage of this Roth IRA conversion process. But that brings me to the next portion of what we wanted to discuss today, and that's our OptiBlend fixed indexed annuity. So I mentioned it earlier. What do you want to do after you pay taxes and you're enjoying a tax-free retirement? Well, you want to grow those assets, right? And we feel that we have the strongest accumulation vehicle in the industry right now when it comes to our Lincoln OptiBlend product. We have it all, right? If you take a look at our current rate sheet, we have everything from fixed accounts to performance triggers to caps, 1-year participation rates, and even multi-year participation rates as well. So our performance triggered is something that we came up with in 2003. We are actually first to market. We've been continuing to innovate amongst this performance trigger idea over the past 20 years. You'll notice we have it on a 1-year S&P 500. So that's just a traditional household S&P 500. And it's as simple as this. I can tell it in 10 seconds. As long as the S&P is flat or positive on the client's anniversary date, they are going to see this high crediting rate. So if you take a look at their 7-year, as long as the S&P 500 is flat or positive, client gets 8. So it can be up 10 basis points, client gets 8%, right? It's a predictable solution because they know they get 0 or 8. We also do this amongst our DRC 10% index as well.
Bill, real quick, is this another flyer we're supposed to be seeing?
Man, this is tough.
Sorry about that.
Back and forth. No, it's okay. I'm just more used to Teams than I am with GoToWebinar. But yeah, I'll pull that up here in 1 second. Apologies. It's really just the rate sheet, though. We're all familiar with those. But let me share that as well. But just going back to my story here as I share the rate sheet, again, you'll notice rates are changing constantly. Right now, we're thrilled about our rate sheet. So that's why I did want to bring it up on the screen here today. But again, all three of these indexes, again, the performance trigger, flat or positive, you're able to receive this high crediting rate. So again, if you take a look at our 7-year product, which is our most popular, you buy the S&P 500, you get exposure of up to 8%, as long as it's flat or positive. Moving forward, I did want to touch base on our 10% DRC trigger as well. Due to the great pricing we're able to provide with this index, you'll actually notice the higher rates you're able to receive. So on the 7-year, you're able to receive 175 basis points on the upside by electing this index as well. Just one thing I wanted to point out when it comes to this index is it works great from a performance standpoint when it comes to our trigger story. So I'm going to pull that up. Give me 1 second. Gonna have to do a little changing around here, but when it comes to this index, again, as we're focused on simplicity. So hopefully you're noticing the story of today is keeping it simple, and that's really what we look to do here with our OptiBlend fixed indexed annuity. So this is the DRC index that I mentioned. Again, we're able to provide great pricing by managing the volatility slightly of the S&P 500, and that's where we're able to get more affordable options costs in our general account and then pass that benefit to the client and the contract in the form of a higher rate. And that's how I shared with you that we're able to receive some additional upside when it comes to this index. And you'll notice this is nothing more than the S&P 500 in cash, right? It only consists of 2 components. It's got a ton of real performance, as the inception date was all the way back in 2009. So we're looking at 15, 16 years of real performance here. And you'll notice 78% of the time since inception, this index has been flat or positive. What did we just mention? As long as it's flat or positive, we're able to receive that high crediting rate of 9.75% when it comes to the DRC 10. And the last thing I'd like to mention is a lot of VCIs out there in the industry target a 5% vol number. We are targeting a 10%. So you'll notice we correlate very well with the S&P 500 itself. And again, by providing great pricing, we're able to do some great things with this index. And I'll tell you right now, over the past, I'd say 5-6 months, my number one amount of flows that I have been seeing is actually coming into the performance trigger lock. So I'm going to go back to my rate sheet here, getting good at this now. And you'll notice the 1-year S&P 500 10% daily risk control trigger lock at 8.25 is where I'm seeing about a third of my flows. And that's due to the fact that, again, we're providing simplicity. As long as this index is flat or positive, we're getting 8.25. And 78% of the time over the past 15, 16 years, this has been flat or positive. And then secondly, it provides predictability for our clients. Because when I say trigger lock, I'm mentioning a guarantee that we can provide the client. For our 5 or 7 year trigger lock, that is guaranteed for the duration of that 5 or 7 year contract. We know that clients may have had tough conversations in the past when it comes to renewal rates. Well, we can take that renewal rate conversation off the table and provide them a known fact guarantee of what their rate's going to be for the duration of that contract. And I think providing that simple story and that predictability of a guarantee, it just gives clients confidence. And that's why we've been seeing so many flows into that story. And I think that is a perfect segue to what we launched as of yesterday on August 18th. And that is our 1-year S&P 500 cap lock. So again, it's a simple story, right? We're doing it with a household name of the S&P 500, which has been performing very well recently. And you'll notice the cap lock is again providing predictability. The fact that for this 5 or 7 years, the client knows exactly what their rate is going to be. And again, I am sharing our rate sheet today because they look great. The 7-year, where we see most of our flows, is at 8% on the S&P 500. So we're giving the clients to receive an 8% return on the S&P 500 over the next 7 years with no risk and no fee. That is a great story, something we're truly excited about. And now why I point out the 5 or 7 year guarantee, and I'm sure everyone's questioning why is he not mentioning the 10-year. Well, the 10-year, great product as well. I just want to point out the fact that that 8.05% is going to be locked in for the first 5 years. But how we do the 10-year is in 2 separate increments. All right. So after the first 5 years, we do have the ability to do a renewal. Not sure what that might be 5 years from now. That's going to be rate dependent, but we can do one renewal on the 10-year. So I just wanted to point out a few of the stories that we like to run with. All right. So we always preach diversification when it comes to OptiBlend. OptiBlend stands for optimum blend, right? We can diversify and allocate amongst these different crediting strategies however we like. One of the stories that our investment desk ran the numbers on that looks very strong and provides client predictability is our trio story. So our trio story is partnering a third of the client's assets with this trigger lock at 8.25, a third of the client's assets with the 1-year S&P 500 cap lock of 8%. And then we also have these multi-year S&P 500 par rates as well. So what you'll notice is we really have the client covered regardless of how the market performs moving forward. If it's negative, you're going to have a positive client review because we're protecting your client's assets. I mentioned all the way back at the beginning of this presentation that wealth preservation is one of the main focuses of high net worth individuals right now. Secondly, if the market's modest, maybe we see a 1 or 2% return, well, then this trigger of 8.25 is going to shine. Again, you're going to have a positive client review because in that case, you're actually outperforming what the market did, again, with no risk and no fee. Secondly, if the market does do well, let's say we do get a 10% return in the S&P, well, we're able to capture a ton of that right now over the next 7 years by locking in an 8% rate. So it gives us, again, a ton of upside. So if we do see strong market returns, we're able to capture a ton of that upside. And then lastly, partnering it with the multi-year participation rate. Again, this is a household name, traditional S&P 500, and we're able to capture 80% of that upside over the next 7 years. So if the market does 100% over the next 7 years, the S&P 500 is performing well, we're able to capture 80% of that on the upside. And that's what I like to call our home run hitter, right? I'm a Kyle Schwarber fan, Phillies fan. That's my Kyle Schwarber right there, cleaning up the bases and knocking everybody in with that large participation rate. So that's a great story that we've been telling. Another one we like to tell is adding in that 1-year 500 or S&P 500 par rate as well. So if we do see years like we saw in 2023, 2024, where the market's booming, and again, 2025, I know we experienced a lot of volatility early on this year, but it has recovered and it has recovered strong. So we're able to capture a ton of that upside as well. And a 25% allocation amongst those 4 strategies that I mentioned not only diversifies the client, but also gives them a ton of upside, again, with 100% protection and 100% or no fee, I should say. So as I move forward here, I know I'm coming up on time, but I do want to share a few other things as I'm getting good at sharing these different pieces here. So going back to, incentives on writing Lincoln Business right now, again, our simplified Roth IRA conversion process, seeing a ton of flows. This news story of the 1-year S&P 500 cap lock, we've been fighting for years now with product, and finally we're able to receive it. The last thing I wanted to show you here in regards to a few things when it comes to that 1-year S&P 500 cap lock, I am going to get to it here in 1 second. Here we go. So again, client approved information for our clients when it comes to locking in the growth rate today, no guessing tomorrow. We hear constantly that, you know, rates are going to come down, right? So what I've been preaching is I don't know how long we're going to be able to hold an 8% S&P 500 cap lock moving forward. I think it's very timely to go ahead, get in now, lock it in over the next 7 years. And, you know, your client, again, doesn't have to play that guessing game. They know exactly what their rate's going to be. So last two things I'll mention when it comes to Lincoln and incentives right now is we also have a level up bonus program. So if you do hit in certain thresholds, our first is at $4.5 million. You can receive an additional 50 basis points on all future business. And then secondly, I always like to mention our trips. We do have a Premier Partner trip available here at Lincoln. So if you do $4 million in annuity business, you would be eligible to go to Canada next year and enjoy an all paid vacation on Lincoln. And one of the things that my manager always tells me to preach, and it differentiates Lincoln from other carriers when it comes to their Premier Partner trips, is it is family friendly. So you do have the ability to bring your spouse, children, and make it a true getaway for you and your family. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Again, we preached the timeliness of Roth IRA conversions right now, a great opportunity for high net worth individuals to go ahead and pay their taxes now before they go up with the US debt levels. And also Lincoln simplified that story. And again, what do you want to do after you pay your taxes? You want to grow your assets. And we have a great accumulation story when it comes to Lincoln OptiBlend. It's simple, it's predictable. We're able to do it, you know, with indexes that are very easy to understand. Which one? Everybody gets the S&P 500, but also that DRC, very simple story. Two components: S&P 500 and cash. We're able to provide some great pricing with that trigger story as well. And I'm telling you, the locks and those guarantees have been seeing a ton of flows. So with that, I just wanted to thank everyone for their time today, especially IAMS and their partnership. I apologize for the technology issues there and switching back and forth between screens, but hopefully you found this very beneficial.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill. I went ahead and just launched a poll. If anybody's interested in getting appointment paperwork for Lincoln, feel free to go ahead and respond to that poll. I'll keep that up here for a couple moments while we answer. It looks like we got just a couple questions here. Were you going to share those slides and everything with us after the webinar today, Bill?
Yeah, as long as I can get an attendee list, I would love to share these slides, everything that we covered here today. And I'd also, and again, I'm going to continue preaching this because our investment desk puts in so much effort into that market intel exchange piece, that I will send over a link where you can actually sign up for Market Intel Exchange and be able to access it at any time, any point. And again, it's Lincoln doing the heavy lifting, providing a ton of great information with what's going on in the markets right now. You know, you're going to see slides on tariffs. You're going to see slides on the big, beautiful bill, right? My team calls me Big, Beautiful Bill right now due to what's going on there. But you'll notice all of it's very timely information. And I will definitely send you a link on how you can sign up for that information as well.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'll be sure to get you over an attendee list here as soon as I have it today. And then another question that came through was, does Lincoln OptiBlend offer any bonus structure and or allow transfers still in surrender?
So we do not have a bonus product, unfortunately, but yes, we have been seeing a ton of contracts get through suitability that are still in surrender. So we have a pre-suit form, so you don't even have to go to the client beforehand to know if we're going to accept that contract. But I will say that we have been seeing more and more contracts come through that are still in surrender that Lincoln has been accepting. So the answer to that is absolutely yes.
Good stuff. Another question here. Thoughts on IRMA, and doesn't each conversion start its own 5-year clock for being tax-free?
Is that for the Roth IRA?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So no, that's actually the great part of what we do with our Roth IRA conversion process is the fact that we're looking at it as two separate contracts that actually have the same surrender. So that partial Roth conversion, let's say you start out with $1 million like we did with Matt in my example. And again, I'm going to send you this information following the conversation here today. We have a minimum of $5,000. He elected to keep start the Roth with $100,000 to stay in the high band rates when it comes to OptiBlend. But from there, no, he's able to move however much he wants, whenever he wants, from the traditional IRA to the Roth IRA contract. And that does not start a new surrender schedule. Those contracts are going to come out of surrender on the same exact date. So that's actually that's an excellent question, and really why we've been seeing so much success with that story.
Sweet, sweet. All righty. I will go ahead and end this poll here, and then I'll share my screen here again real fast just while we wrap up. All righty. Hopefully you all can see that there. Please make sure to connect with us on social media, Facebook or LinkedIn. We'd love to connect with you on our social media there. And if you have any questions following today's webinar about Lincoln, partial Roth conversions, or about IMS and some of the things we touched on there, please feel free to reach out to us here at 800-255-5055. You can also go ahead and visit our IMS Inc. website there. So make sure everybody can see that information right now. Oh, it looks like we did have one more question come in here, Bill. Can the conversion be into an existing Roth, or does it have to be into a new Roth contract with Lincoln?
It can be into an existing Roth, but that process would be different. There's a few extra steps that you'd have to take. So yes, we can. Feel free to reach out to me and we can go through that process. But really, when we go through that very, very simple story of 1, 2, 3, check the box, you're good, that is starting a new Roth. So hopefully that helps. But the answer is yes, there just is a few extra steps that need to be involved in order to do so.
Perfect. Looks like that's all the questions that we had for today. So again, if anybody has anything come up after we finish up here, feel free to reach out to IMS at that number on your screen. But otherwise, thanks again, Bill, so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to co-host this webinar with us. Really appreciate it. And have a good one, everybody.
Thanks for having me.